I used to be an anchor on a student news show called Breaking Maths. I can do interesting things with many of my body parts. My taste in food is eclectic. I like anything ranging from Caribbean stews, curries and saltfish to Sunday roast with Yorkshire pudding, Spanish omelette, steak, German slow roasted pork, and I even go vegan a few days a week. When I was 19, I moved to Spain to learn Spanish. The stint started off with just a language course in Valencia, and then I ended up working in various Spanish hotels for an internship, so that was in Cordoba and Almeria. At the end I decided that I wanted to stay in Spain, so I started looking for jobs and I managed to nab one teaching English within a week. One day during my bachelor's we had a lecture about hereditary traits and how they relate to different groups of people, and the lecturer talked about West Africans, for example, and how West African people are unable to tolerate lactose. Well, at the end of the lecture I marched up to the lecturer and told her that she was wrong because I could digest milk just fine. It turns out that I had been obliviously lactose intolerant the whole time. I love cheese, which is absolutely fine because most cheeses contain very low levels of lactose, if any. When I moved to Maastricht, I tried to score a job at an Afro hair salon braiding hair because for some reason there are 5 Afro hair shops in Maastricht. I imagine 1 per black person there. Anyway, I failed the trial because I was far too gentle on the client's hair and I didn't braid tightly enough. I've never broken any bones, but last year I had to get stitches in my big toe after I tripped up an escalator running for a train in Frankfurt. I moved to Trinidad and Tobago when I was 12. I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I get really excited when cafes I visit serve lactose-free milk because there's nothing more grotesque than a soy or almond milk cappuccino. I love to learn new things about the world. I grew up in the English countryside, so my summers consisted of cycling down the lane through the woods and up the hill, or going for walks to see cattle and horses across the fields. Despite my seeming extroverted, I can be very socially awkward. I speak Spanish more or less fluently. You can check that out for yourself right here. I've been living in the Netherlands for 4 years. As a child, I was very much into Roald Dahl and Jacqueline Wilson books, but my favourite book was Noughts and Crosses by Mallory Blackman. I was teased when I moved to Trinidad from the UK at the age of 12. I've got a really dodgy belly button because when I was born the doctor cut my umbilical cord too short and I literally had a little growth that jutted out of my tummy, often getting caught in drawers. I had that corrected when I was about 3 years old. I absolutely love to do accents and impressions of people. So it's like so cool. I love to pretend to be American, for example. I think that this is more or less how American people speak. And you know, you can pretend to be from Trinidad and Tobago and people from Trinidad speak like this almost as if they were singing. You know, it's kind of like a fluey sound, and I can talk a bit like a Jamaican, but it's not very good because I've actually never been to Jamaica, but I just know a few Jamaican people, and there are 2 girls I like to watch on YouTube. You've probably seen them already, the twins, and I just love to imitate them. I'm an Aquarius, but I don't think that has any bearing on who I am as a person. During my bachelor's, I taught English as a foreign language at the university's language centre. I still remember the phone number for the house I moved out of when I was 12. 01737244482. Remember my dodgy belly button? Well, my mum arranged for the doctor correcting it to pierce my ears while I was under anaesthetic. As you may have seen in my previous video, during the week I wear barely any makeup and make hardly any effort to look even remotely attractive. Sit on my bed in your outside clothes and you're in for it. When I was in primary and secondary school, I was involved in netball, dancing, brownies, drumming, tennis, guides and scouts. I smile so much that I don't know whether I do it because I'm a smiley person or because it's what's expected of me. I have to season my meat before I cook it. Unless of course it's salmon steak, then I just sear it on either side for 3 minutes or so. My first pet was a goldfish called Chippy. I have an elder brother who arguably has better natural hair game than me. I did 5 years of tap dancing, and so whenever I'm in a queue waiting somewhere, I will spontaneously burst into tap dances. I went to see Rihanna's auntie last week in Hamburg, and so her whole set list is playing in my head on repeat. Just gonna stand there and watch me burn, but that's alright because I like the way it hurts. I'm so good at making sandwiches that when I was in secondary school, my best friend used to refer to them as Fancy Fiesta. Up to about 2 years ago, I hated avocados and all nuts. I was born in the southeast of England. When I started my bachelor's, I applied to work at a bar/restaurant in Maastricht. The restaurateur was so enthusiastic about me at the interview, but I failed the trial and in the end I didn't get the job. I used to think I was extroverted, but now there's nothing I like more than reading or watching Netflix all by myself. I started this channel to document my hair journey, but I didn't foresee my channel or my hair growing into this. I'm really concerned with how we treat the planet, but I'm finding it very difficult to reconcile that with my love of meat. I was once abandoned in the centre of town in Margarita, an island just off the coast of Venezuela. I was 14 at the time and had to find my way back to the hotel on my lonesome, and when I got there, nobody from my class had even noticed I'd been missing. When my brother and I were younger, we used to pinch each other and say cheese, cheese, cheese. Coconut oil doesn't fix everything, but it comes pretty bloody close. Unless I'm at a party or a restaurant, the only thing I drink is water or tea, and the exception arises only if there's freshly squeezed orange juice available. Coffee makes me anxious and jittery. The reason my channel is called Naturally High is twofold. Firstly, I've always thought myself to have elevated dopamine levels since I'm always full of energy, and secondly, Afro hair arguably grows upwards and is therefore just high naturally. Get it? I wouldn't really describe myself as stubborn, but I am very inquisitive and I always want to know why things are done in a particular way instead of just going along with them blindly. So, did you manage to watch the whole thing? I hope I didn't bore you to death. If you did and there was anything that surprised you, please comment below. I want to see what you expected of me and what you actually found out. Was there something a bit different? Do we have anything in common? Are we drastically different in any way? Please let me know below. I want to hear all about you.